Folks, after a long wait, and for which we apologize greatly due to technical difficulties, Provo Angels baseball is back on air. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. This is Zach Frazier. I'll be bringing you the action for the rest of the year here. The Angels will take on the Idaho Falls Chukars. The big news from last night is that Provo, in lieu of their 6-2 win against Helena, clinched first place in the Pioneer League Southern Division, and that means that they will be going to the playoffs for the fourth straight year. So, impressive accomplishment by the coaching staff and by this young team. Struggled a little bit down the end as they were coming to the end of the first half of the season, but basically they got it done when they needed to get it done. And even the fact that Idaho Falls won and Ogden won, Ogden ended up finishing half a game out, and Idaho Falls ended up tied with Provo, but Provo had the tiebreaker, having won 5 of the 8 games that they've played so far this year. It's a beautiful breezy night here in Provo, Utah. It's about 80, 82 degrees. Got a bright blue sky, no clouds, lots of sun over the outfield part of the field, and the infield is covered a little bit in shade, but for the most part we're basked in sun and warmth here with a nice cool breeze coming out of the canyon. So a great night to play some baseball. We'll be back in a few moments with the starting lineups for tonight's game between the Provo Angels and the Idaho Falls Chukars. All right, we're back here in Provo, Utah at sportsjuice.com. This is Zach Frazier bringing you tonight's game between the Angels and the Idaho Falls Chukars. Before we go over the starting lineups, let's look a little bit at the league leaders in the Pioneer League. The Provo Angels have 3 of the top 10 hitters in the league, with Sean Rodriguez, number 2, with a .404 average. Nate Sutton in 8th place as the 8th best hitter in the league, hitting .359, and Andrew Toussaint also cracks into the top 10, hitting .350 with 10 home runs. A big blast last night, the difference maker in the game against the Helena Brewers. As far as hits are concerned, we have 1 Provo Angel in the top 10, Sean Rodriguez, who's collected 44 hits throughout the start of the first half of the season. And Sean Rodriguez is also in the top 10 with triples, as he has 3 so far this year. There's 3 Angels in the top 10 of the on-base percentage category. Sean Rodriguez at .525, Andrew Toussaint at .480, and Nate Sutton at .474. And Andrew Toussaint leads the league right now in slugging percentage, hitting a whopping .750. So he's getting the job done at the plate and driving in runs. He's also the lead leaguer in RBIs with 36. So while the Angels have had stronger hitting clubs in the past, they have a very balanced hitting attack this year with 3 or 4 guys throughout the lineup that can get the job done. And the nice thing about this lineup is, top to bottom, you can never rest. Speaking of lineups, let's give you the starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Idaho Falls Chukars, starting in center field will be Darwinson Salazar. And hitting second as the designated hitter will be Brad Hayes. He's hitting .320 this year. Alexander Bautista, number 24, will be in left. Billy Butler, the third baseman, will be batting fourth. He's hitting a whopping .376. He's one of the top 10 hitters in the league as well. Hitting number 5 is the right fielder, number 22, Brian McFall. Hitting sixth is number 7, the shortstop, Mario Leeson. Hitting seventh is the second baseman, lead number 1, Eddie Solis, who right now leads the Pioneer League in hitting with a .405 average, just a point ahead of Sean Rodriguez. Rusty Brown, the first baseman, will hit 8th, and Matt Ferrer, the catcher, will wrap things up in the 9th spot, while right-hander Patrick Green will take the mound. Patrick Green is 1-1 with a 6.38 ERA, and he hails out of the University of Louisiana, Lafayette. So look forward to his performances tonight. And the starting lineups for the Provo Angels. Starting in center field will be number 4, Richard Giannotti. At shortstop, number 3, the Salem, Massachusetts native Ryan Leahy. Batting third will be the designated hitter, number 24, Caleb Mayer. Hitting fourth will be the third baseman, number 10, Andrew Toussaint. Hitting fifth, catcher Ben Johnson, who wears number 33. Mike Perdomo, the left fielder, number 29 from Miami, Florida, will be in left field. And batting sixth, batting seventh will be the second baseman, 6th round pick, Josh LeBlanc. Batting eighth will be J.R. Renz, the right fielder, and closing out the lineup for the Angels tonight will be number 30, first baseman Chris Walston. Well, Nick Green at 3-2, the Tifton, Georgia native gets the start tonight. And as we get ready for the national anthem, we'll be back with more Provo Angels baseball on the first pitch here in Provo, Utah.
Your attention to the flag in right center field for tonight's national anthem, performed by Taken In.
I'd like to welcome everybody back to Provo Angels Baseball, brought to you by Sports Juice, brought to you on sportsjuicing.com by Millennial Marine. And we want to thank our listeners and our fans out there across the country for their patience with us as we dealt with some technical difficulties and some changes in personnel. We are back on air, and we'll be bringing you the rest of the Provo Angels home games this year, as well as select road games. And we'll be sure to release that schedule as soon as it is solidified. But we do want to thank everybody for their patience and look forward to bringing you the rest of Angels baseball here in 2004 as we chase a Pioneer League championship. So the big news coming from last night is the fact that the Angels, for the 4th consecutive year, will be in the Pioneer League playoffs. Tom Kochman, who has guided the team every year since 2001, since moving from Helena, Montana, once again guided the Angels into first place with a 20-18 record. They ended up tied with Idaho Falls, but had the tiebreaker 5 games to 3. And so because of that, we'll be in the playoffs this September as we look to, after years of going to the playoffs, bring home our first Pioneer League championship. So exciting things happening right now in the mountains of Utah for your Provo Angels and Angels baseball. And we're getting ready to lead things off here with number 27, leadoff man Darwin Salazar. Comes into the game hitting a whopping .385. He's one of those batters for Idaho Falls as he takes a ball in the outside corner from Nick Green, who would be in the top 10 of the hitting across the league if he has enough at bats. The delivery from Green is a fastball that catches the outside corner, strike one. Nick Green battling the shadows as they creep from home plate towards the outfield with the setting sun behind us. And here's the 1-1 to Salazar. Fouled back into the netting behind home plate, strike two. Darwin Salazar is a native, or played last year, with the Arizona Royals. Stands tall as Green's delivery is outside and low. 4-2, evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A very imposing figure as the leadoff batter. Seems to be a delay, and we're not really sure why a ball boy needs to go get the ball from behind home plate. That's scooped away from catcher Ben Johnson. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no out here in the top of the first. Leadoff man Darwinson Salazar faces Nick Green as Salazar asks for time and is granted so by home plate umpire Shanna Cook. Here's the delivery from Green. Curveball that misses low and in the dirt, bounces away from Ben Johnson, so the count is now full. Be sure, folks, to send us an email. If you go to sportsjuice.com, you can see 2 different emails that you can email us during the game. And the pitch from Green is lifted into shallow right field, and J.R. Renz comes on and makes the catch after initially starting back towards the wall. It's kind of difficult to see tonight because of the shadows and the bright sun in the outfield. But J.R. Renz makes a nice job recovering, and Salazar is retired F9 to start the game. So that brings up Bradley Hayes, the designated hitter, hitting .320. Has 1 home run and 17 RBIs, and first delivery from Green is outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Lined a foul over the barbecue pit down the right field line and out of play. Strike 1. Nick Green, who started the year coming out of the bullpen for the Angels, but has impressed the pitching coach, Zeke Zimmerman, and has worked his way into the rotation as the delivery to Hayes is low and outside for ball 2. And has worked his way into the starting rotation stands right now with a 3-2 record. Here's the delivery from Green. Line drive up the middle for a base hit into center field. Richard Giannotti circles around, scoops it up. But Hayes stands at first right now with a 1-out single. And that'll bring up left fielder Alexander Bautista. Bautista hitting .278 on the year with 2 home runs and 19 RBI. Has 10 doubles. So, really good job with extra base hits. And the delivery from Green is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner. Strike 1. So no balls, 1 strike to Alexander Bautista here in the top of the first. Idaho Falls have a runner, Bradley Hayes, sitting on first with a 1-out single as Bautista fouls off another breaking ball and quickly falls behind no balls and 2 strikes. And our general manager enjoys getting in the way of people so we can't see what's going on. Here's the delivery from Green. Misses the outside corner of ball 1. One of the great things about baseball is you get to have a good time while you're working. Here's the 1-2 from Green, a big breaking ball that just misses, and Bautista did check his swing. So the count now runs even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out with a runner on first. Bradley Hayes with a 1-out single, and he now stands at first. Here's the 2-2 from Nick Green. He comes set. Here's the delivery. Fastball that just misses outside and low, and the count now runs full. Nick Green, a native of Tifton, Georgia, stands 6'4", 180. Young, very strong arm there on the mound for the Angels. Here's the 3-2. The runner's going. Strike out. The throw is high to second base. So Alexander Bautista strikes out swinging as Bradley Hayes takes second base on the stolen base. Looks like there was a hit and run on. Bautista was unable to get wood on it, but runner is still safe at second base. So now there's 2 out. Bradley Hayes stands at second, having just stolen the bag. And Billy Butler, the third baseman, comes in hitting .376. And here's the delivery from Green. Big breaking ball right over the heart of the plate, strike one. We bring you some scores from around the league and around the majors as the delivery from Green is low and outside. 4-2. Quite a few games going on in the major leagues tonight. Pioneer League, after no break whatsoever, gets started with the second half of the season. Here's the 1-1 from Green. Just misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 out here in the top of the first as the Angels look to start the second half of the season off on a winning foot. Green comes set, and here's the delivery. Swinging a foul back directly behind home plate into the protective netting. And the count is now even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Deuces wild here, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, top of the first inning, while Bradley Hayes stands at second base. Idaho Falls looking to capitalize here on with runners in scoring position, and the delivery from Green is low and inside. A breaking ball that missed, broke a little bit too early, 4-3. The Angels will lead off with Richard Giannotti, Ryan Lakey, and Caleb Mayer in the bottom of the first. So here's the full count. Green's delivery catches the inside corner. Big breaking ball. Gets Billy Butler buckling and ducking out of the way. But broke hard over the inside corner for strike 3. So a great pitch by Nick Green. And that ends the top of the first. We'll be back with more Angels baseball here at SportsJuice.com. Folks, we're back here at Larry H. Miller Field in Provo, Utah. We're going to have the bottom of the first inning coming up with Richard Giannotti, Ryan Lakey, and Caleb Mayer leading things off for the Angels. We have a new feature to our website we'd like to tell you about. If you go to www.provoangels.com, you can now click on a new link that says Stats and Scores, and it brings you real-time, up-to-date stats and scores from around both the Pioneer League and Major League Baseball, as well as Angels stats. So if you're out of town or out of the state or even out of the country, you are able to follow your Provo Angels and keep track of what they're doing thanks to ProvoAngels.com and Boyd Interactive. Here's the delivery from Patrick Green, the starting pitcher for Idaho Falls. A big breaking ball that catches the inside corner to Richard Giannotti, strike 1. Giannotti, kind of an up-and-down season so far, is now hitting .238 as he takes a pitch low and away for ball 1. He is fourth in the league right now with stolen bases, having successfully stolen 8 bags. As he swings through a fastball, strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Richard Giannotti, quickly down here to start the bottom of the first inning. It's also good. Here's the delivery. Check swing. And the home plate umpire said that Giannotti did go around. Not home plate, excuse me. Field umpire said that Richard Giannotti did go around. So Giannotti is retired swinging to start off the game for the first out for the Provo Angels. And Ryan Leahy will step up to the plate. As many of you know, Ryan Leahy and Sean Rodriguez teamed up to perform history a couple weeks ago against the Missoula Osprey, both going 6 for 6, first time in 108 years that has happened. He struggled a little bit at the plate since then, but he's looking to bounce back. Had a strong night last night as he looks at ball 1 low and away. So 1 ball, no strikes to Leahy. Here's the delivery from Green. And the count's even at 1 apiece as he takes a fastball over the outside corner for strike 1. Both today's starting pitchers are surnamed Green. A little confusing when you're filling up the lineup cards, as Leahy looks at strike 2 over the inside corner. So Shanna Cook and her infamously wide strike zone back in town tonight. Here's the 1-2 from Patrick Green. A little blooper line drive into center field. Salazar started back but comes in and makes the play in shallow left center field for out number 2. Caleb Mayer will now come to the plate. Mayer comes in the game hitting .304, having picked up his average here recently with 2 home runs and 19 RBIs. Solid offensive presence here in the Provo Angels lineup. Green's delivery, here it is, and Mayer lifts it high and foul towards the right field side, drifting out into the stands. And a young fan will have a souvenir to take home tonight. As Mayer quickly is behind in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Some quick AL scores. Chicago and Minnesota. It's a final right now at Comiskey. Minnesota wins 5-4 in Seattle and Oakland. Oakland takes care of Seattle 3-2 at the Coliseum. And he lifts another fly ball foul, drifting towards the barbecue pit down the right field line and out of play. So Caleb Mayer a little bit behind on his swings here. Fouls 2 off down the right field line. And he is behind in the count to Patrick Green at no balls and 2 strikes. Both teams very groggy. The Angels got into town this morning at about 8:30. Idaho Falls had a long bus trip as well as Mayer fouls off the pitch back towards the Angels dugout to stay alive. And the joys of traveling in the low minor leagues is you finish a game at 10 o'clock and you have a 9 or 10 hour bus trip to get home for a game the next day. Patrick Green comes set, and here's the delivery. Mayer fouls it back into the netting behind home plate. Just missed clearing that netting and going into the stands. And he battles to stay alive. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the first. A 0-0 ball game. The Angels look to strike first to get on the board. Here's the delivery. Green's big breaking ball catches the inside corner. 4 strike 3. So Caleb Mayer goes down swinging. So a 1-2-3 inning for right-hander Patrick Green. And we'll be back with more Angels baseball at sportsjuice.com. Welcome back to Provo Angels Baseball at sportsjuice.com. Zach Frazier on the mic will be with you all night long here as we bring you the game between the Idaho Falls Chukars and the Provo Angels. Now coming to the plate for the Chukars in the top of the second inning will be right fielder Brian McFall as he looks at a fastball that drifts outside for ball one. Some interesting news in the past week and a half if you're an Angels fan. We've got some Provo Angels alum. Their names have been splattered throughout the news as trade bait for Randy Johnson. Most recently, Jeff Mathis was suggested as a possibility as McFall looks at ball two. Here's the delivery from Nick Green. A curveball that catches the outside corner, strike one. Green has very good control over that curveball. It's hard to pick up because his arms are so lanky. Here's the delivery. Fastball that misses outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. And I say lanky in a good sense because you just see all this arm and leg coming right at you, and it's hard to see the ball. Very soft-spoken, very polite young man from Georgia. Very interesting to be called sir by guys that are your contemporaries. And McFall checks his swing at strike 2, so the count's now full. A great pitch by Nick Green as it catches the outside corner. And here's the full count, the payoff pitch. Pop fly lifted back behind home plate and out of play. It's going to catch the tarpaulin that covers the reserve section in the press box and roll into the crowd. Man luckily ends up with a souvenir. So McFall stays alive, and here's the 3-2. A high fly ball lifted deep to left field, but it dies. Mike Perdomo settles underneath it at the warning track, and so what looked like it jumped off his bat died here in the dry air. Actually, it's a little bit humid. I apologize. It's not the dry air that kept it down. It's the humidity today. And Brian McFall is retired F7 to start off the inning. Mario Leeselm steps in, squares to bunt. But the pitch is well outside for ball one. And he leaves it alone. Here's the 1-0. Checks his swing, but it is a strike. A big breaking ball that breaks hard inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So here's a delivery from Nick Green. Curveball catches the outside corner. Strike 2 again. Showing great command of that breaking pitch. And Green works very quickly. He gets the ball, steps on the rubber, gets his sign, and goes to town. No wasting time. And Leeselm checks his swing at a curveball. Looked like he went around, but home plate umpire did not option down the line to the field umpire. And Leeselm stays alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Green rears back and throws a fastball. Misses high and outside, and the count's now full. Here's the 3-2, the payoff pitch. Fouled back into the crowds. Catches the lip of the netting. Suspended in the air a little bit. Now we've got a scrum on the concrete floor between 5 or 6 little kids as they fight for a souvenir to take home. So the payoff pitch again from Green is fouled back down the right field line and out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out here in the top of the second. It's a scoreless game so far as Green, the payoff pitch, ground ball into the Angels dugout. Leeselm manages to stay alive. Good to see Michael Hughes going out there to get that ball. He had a nasty injury. The delivery from Green is up high, and Leeselm did not go around, checked his swing, and was able to hold up some big first base on a 1-out walk. And Eddie Solis, the best hitter in the league right now, comes to the plate hitting .405. As we were mentioning, Michael Hughes, as Zeke Zimmerman will go out to visit with Nick Green. Michael Hughes, in diving for a ball in the Missoula in the Angels 15-13 victory against Missoula, jammed his shoulder, and it looked like it was going to be a pretty bad injury, season-ending injury. It's good to see Michael Hughes up and dressed and moving around seemingly without much pain. Good job by trainer Aaron Wells to take care of that injury and get him back on board. So Zeke's done talking to Nick Green. Eddie Solis will step in, and here's the delivery. Fastball on the outside corner for strike one. Ben Johnson, the catcher, doing a good job of framing that pitch, setting up on the outside corner, and giving home plate umpire Shannon Cook no choice but to call it a strike. Here's the delivery. Curveball, swing, and drive into right field. It's going to be over the head of J.R. Renz. Lison will move on to third base, and Solis will continue his hot hitting with a one-out double.
First baseman number 33, Rusty.
So Lison scampers on to third. Solis now stands at second. There's one out, runners at second and third, and the Idaho Falls Chukars are threatening here in the top of the second. One out. No one across yet, but two runners in scoring position as Rusty Brown, the first baseman, will step up. He's hitting a measly 140. But a simple fly ball will produce a run here as he looks at strike one right over the heart of the plate. Rusty Brown last played for Florida Atlantic as he fouls the pitch back behind over our heads and out of play for strike two. So no balls, two strikes. One out here in the top of the second. Runners at second and third. Mario Lison standing at third, and Eddie Solis at second. And he lifts a high fly ball deep into left field, in the gap in left center. Perdomo picks it up. Leahy will pick it up, and runners will come across the plate. Both Mario Lison will score, Eddie Solis will score, and Rusty Brown capitalizes with a one-out, two-run double. And Idaho Falls is quickly on top here, 2-0 in the top of the second. So after getting Brian McFall to fly out to left field, Nick Green walked Mario Lison. Eddie Solis drove the ball to the opposite field and right field. And now Rusty Brown with a shot into left center. So all three balls that have been hit here in the inning have been hit squarely. Perhaps Chukars hitters are seeing something that Angels pitching staff is missing as Matt Ferrara fouls the first pitch down the left field line and out of play. No balls, one strike to the catcher. Hitting in the 9 spot tonight. Here's the 0-1. Big swing and a miss at a slider. And Ferrara is down. No balls and 2 strikes. Rusty Brown stands at second base with a 1-out, 2 RBI double. So far he has accounted for all the runs here in the game. The Idaho Falls Chukars lead 2-0. And Green catches the outside corner. Matt Ferrara is down looking. Great pitch by the righty Nick Green. So now there's 2 out. And leadoff man Darwinton Salazar comes up to the plate. Salazar hitting .385. He flew out to right fielder J.R. Renz, a shallow fly ball in the top of the first inning. And here's the delivery from Green. Big breaking ball that misses outside. Good job by Ben Johnson to keep it in front of him. Green comes set. Here's the delivery. Ball gets away from catcher Ben Johnson, and Rusty Brown will move on over to third base on the pass ball. So Ben Johnson unable to rail that in. And the count now stands at 2 balls, no strikes. And here's the delivery from Green. Big breaking ball catches the outside corner for strike 1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out here. Runners on third base as the Chukars lead 2-0 here in the top of the second. Green's pitch misses up high, and the count's now quickly 3-1. Green working out of the windup with runners on third base. Here's the delivery. Fly ball lifted into right field. J.R. Renz Squares underneath it, and he gathers it in for out number 3, but the Chukars capitalize on a walk and a double. Walk and 2 doubles lead to 2 runs for the Chukars, and they now lead 2-0 after the end of the top of the second inning. We'll be back with more Angels baseball here at sportsjuice.com. Back here at Provo, Utah, Zach Frazier bringing you all the action for Provo Angels baseball at sportsjuice.com. We started a conversation at the top of the second inning about the possibility of former Provo Angels players and future Anaheim Angels prospects Dallas McPherson, Casey Kochman, and Jeff Mathis being talked about as trade possibilities for the likes of Randy Johnson. I think that you would really be selling the farm for a one shot at a world championship if you do that. And personally, in my opinion, I don't think that it's worth that kind of sacrifice, but we'll see what happens. Now, no doubting that a 6'10" left-hander who can still throw 94, 95 miles an hour would not be helpful in a pennant chase. But keep in mind that the Angels are very talented and have an opportunity to chase pennants again in the future. And here's the delivery from Patrick Green to Andrew Toussaint. He takes the ball up high for ball 1. Andrew Toussaint right now hitting .350 with 10 home runs and 36 RBI. Here's the delivery as Green delivers a strike. Toussaint fouls it back into the net, evening the count at 1 apiece. Some scores from around Major League Baseball. We had started with the American League. We'll continue there. Baltimore and Boston's the final, with Baltimore beating Boston 4-1 as Toussaint looks at a fastball low and outside, ball 2. Detroit and Cleveland are still going at it. Cleveland is leading Detroit 5-4 right now in Jacobs Field, and here's the delivery from Patrick Green. Fastball that was even farther outside and even lower than the last pitch, but was called a strike. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Toronto and New York are tied 2 apiece as they head into the bottom of the 9th at the Sky Dome. Delivery from Green drifts too far outside, and the count's now full to leadoff man Andrew Toussaint. Here's the full count. Here's the delivery. Big breaking ball that just misses inside, and Toussaint will walk to first with a leadoff walk. Toussaint, whose family was in town a couple weeks ago. Very nice folks. Had a chance to talk to them a little bit. It's good to meet them and see them out here supporting their son. So Ben Johnson, the catcher, number 33, will step up to the plate. Johnson comes in hitting .230. So a little bit of a struggle at the plate, but was working this afternoon batting practice with going to the opposite field as he looks at the first pitch down and inside for ball 1. Nice to see that even after a long bus trip and not a whole lot of sleep, that there is a handful of players out here today working on extra batting practice at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Delivery from Green is lifted foul high and drifts towards the bullpen. The third baseman, Billy Butler, kind of lost the ball in the sun and had a hard time going after that play, and it falls safely for simply a strike. So Andrew Toussaint stands at first with a leadoff walk. There's no out here in the bottom of the second. The Angels trail 2-0 thanks to back-to-back doubles by the Idaho Falls Chukars. And the delivery to Johnson is high and outside, ball 2. Some more scores from around the American League. Tampa Bay all over Kansas City right now. 10-0. That looks like it's about to be a final, and we'll head over to the National League soon enough. As Toussaint dives back in, Green throws over, checking him at first. Wind is blowing softly to the right field fence. As Ben Johnson again lifts it foul. It's drifting towards the line, and the shortstop, Mario Lisson, overruns it in foul territory. That sun is really being difficult right now for fielders as they head into the outfield. If you guys have never been to Larry H. Miller Field, it faces southeast, so as the sun sets, it sets behind us, which is great for the fans, keeps the sun out of the eyes and keeps people in the cool shade. But for players in the outfield, it is very difficult to get balls here in the first couple innings. As Johnson lifts the ball into left field, a liner that's going to not fall, as Alexander Bautista gathers it in for out number 1. So Johnson did what he was working on today in batting practice, going to the opposite field, but unable to get it to drop. So now Mike Perdomo, the Miami native, steps up to the plate. Perdomo's been hitting well of late, having seen his average climb to 253, and is continuing to get playing time in the lineup, earning a spot. Green comes set. Here's the delivery. Perdomo swings. Big cut at a fastball. And misses for strike 1. Patrick Green comes set. And here's the delivery. Ground ball, weak ground ball to the third baseman. Billy Butler picks up. He's going to go to second base and get Andrew Toussaint on the fielder's choice. So Toussaint is put out 5-4, and Perdomo will reach on a fielder's choice.
Second baseman, number 18, Josh LeBlanc.
So now with 2 out, runners still at first base. Perdomo stands at first base. Josh LeBlanc, the second baseman from Houston, Texas, will come up to the plate and see if he can capitalize and get the Angels on the board here. LeBlanc, another Angel who has contributed well here in the last couple weeks in his average climb. Struggled very early on as he looks at ball 1 outside. But starting to come into his own at the plate. And certainly someone who has high hopes here in the Anaheim future. Drafted in the 6th round, and he lines the ball to left field. The left fielder can't see the ball, but Alexander Bautista finds it in time, gathers it in for out number 3. So the Sun almost earned Josh LeBlanc a hit there, but instead he is retired as the 3rd out in the inning. We'll be back with more Angels baseball at sportsjuice.com. So we're back here in Provo, Utah. Nick Green already ready to go on the mound. And Bradley Hayes will step up to the plate. He had a 1-out single in the top of the first, was stranded at second base as he looks at strike 1. Hayes, the DH tonight. typically an infielder for the Idaho Falls Chukars. Here's a delivery from Green, a big breaking ball that drifts well outside for ball one. Fans, be sure to send me an email here. Let me know how we're doing. If you have any questions or any comments, we'll be happy to address those. As Green's delivery to Hayes is lifted foul out of play down the right field side. Shadow starting to creep into shallow center field, making life very difficult for center fielder Richard Giannotti. Here's the delivery, a big breaking ball, swing and a miss, and the batter is retired. Nice pitch by Nick Green. And now Alexander Bautista will come up to the plate with one out. He struck out swinging in the first inning. Green's delivery, a big breaking ball that just misses outside. Bautista checked his swing but did not go around. Rather tranquil crowd here at Provo's Larry H. Miller Field. Not a bad crowd for a Wednesday night. Probably about 1,100, 1,200 people here. As Green's second delivery misses outside for ball two. Here's the delivery, big chopping ground ball to the third baseman, Andrew Toussaint. Running play, and Walton is unable to make the scoop. Ball gets away, but not far enough away to allow Bautista to advance. So Bautista now stands at first with an error. To third baseman, Andrew Toussaint. So Billy Butler now comes up. He struck out looking his last at bat to end the inning on a big, nasty breaking ball. And the Angels will look to roll two. Green comes set, looks over his shoulder, and here's a delivery. Big fastball right over the heart of the plate. Butler swung and missed. It looks like Green challenged him there, and Green won. Green already on the rubber, ready to go. So anyone who complains about pitchers taking too long need to come watch Nick Green go to work as he steps off the mound and throws back over to first. Bautista steps back in safely. Andrew Toussaint, the third baseman, is the same way, but at the plate, no nonsense. Steps right into the batter's box and goes to work. Green is set. Here's the delivery. Big breaking ball misses outside for ball one. I know it may seem like hyperbole that every breaking ball is a big breaking ball. With Nick Green, they are. Big, loopy breaking balls with lots of movement. Here's the delivery, the 1-1. Fastball lifted into right center field. Giannotti and Renz both go back to the wall, and it is over the wall for a two-run home run. That ball just carried. Wind's blowing a little bit to the right side of the outfield, and that ball just took off. So Billy Butler, after striking out in the first inning, comes up big with a big two-run home run, and the Idaho Falls Chukars now lead 4-0. Brian McFall, the right fielder, will come up. He led off the second inning with a fly ball to left field, and Mike Perdomo railed in for an out. Delivery from Green is high and outside, ball one. So once again, the Angels' struggles continue, and they trail 4-0. Delivery from Green bounces low and outside for ball two. My mistake on the scoring, it looks like Alexander Bautista was granted a hit instead of an error by Andrew Toussaint as McFall swings through a breaking ball for strike one. So both of those runs will be earned. Great pitch by Nick Green, pulls the string out on another breaking ball and evens the count at 2 apiece. Nick Green comes set, and here's the 2-2. Big breaking ball. Just bottom fell right out from under that pitch. And McFall goes down looking for out number 2 here in the top of the third. Mario Lison, the shortstop, will come up to the plate. He walked and scored last inning. He walked and was followed by back-to-back doubles, which brought in 2 runs for the Idaho Falls Chukars. Here's the delivery from Green. Breaking pitch again that catches the outside corner for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. And here's the pitch. Tries to push the envelope of the outside corner, misses. And the count's now even at 1 apiece. Checks his swing at a ball that was in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. To shortstop Mario Lison. Green comes set, and here's the delivery. Fastball grounded through the left side past the diving Ryan Leahy at short. And Lison is on with a 2-out single. And that brings up Eddie Solis, who had an RBI double. Who had a double that moved Mario Lison to third base, and was followed by Rusty Brown's RBI double. Eddie Solis, who's continued his hot hitting, came into the game hitting .405, most certainly has raised that average. Here's the delivery from Green. The runner is going. The throw is going to be late, and Lison slides in safely with a stolen base. Solis took that ball on the outside corner for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Runner at second base, 2 out here. The Chukars lead 4-0. Ground ball to the third base side. Andrew Toussaint, nice play. Long throw across the diamond. Great play by the third baseman to record the 3rd out of the inning. But the Chukars pick up another 2 runs on a 2-run blast by third baseman Billy Butler. And they now lead 4-0 as we head into the bottom of the 3rd.
Wash your car or water your lawn. Remember, the soil is sending the rest of the public works. The Water Resources Division is first to all conserve water.
Welcome back to Angels Baseball at SportsJuice.com. We've got some scores from around the Pioneer League. Billings has jumped out on top of Helena there in the top of the 3rd in Billings, Montana. They lead 4-0 right now. Casper and Ogden are scoreless. Idaho, as we are playing here, Idaho Falls leads the Provo Angels 4-0. And Great Falls has jumped out in front of Missoula 2-0 as they head into the top of the 3rd there in Great Falls, Montana. Leading off for the Provo Angels will be J.R. Renz. He'll be followed by Chris Walston. And then back to the top of the order with Richard Giannotti. Renz comes up to the plate, ready to face Patrick Green. Renz is hitting .281 on the year as he takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Renz also one of the league leaders in RBIs with 29 as he swings and misses through a slider that catches the outside corner. 4 strike 1. Here's the delivery from Green. Low and outside in the dirt, 4 ball 2. Green comes set, and here's the delivery to Renz. Ground ball foul back into the screen towards the Provo Angels dugout. Down the third base side, and the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Angels have yet to get a hit here, and we are through 2 innings. Patrick Green has kept the Angels bats at bay. Here's the delivery. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Green continues his dominance. Early dominance here, the Provo Angels lineup. And now the number 9 hitter, Chris Walston, will come up. Walston is hitting .208. Had seen his average rise all the way up to about 260, 265, but has returned back down to the 200 range, struggling a little bit, but again, as we've talked about many times, with someone with his athletic build and ability, you don't give up on that. As he takes the first pitch out on the outside corner for strike 1. Here's the delivery from Green. Big breaking pitch that never broke and was inside for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Angels trail 4-0 as we start off the second half of the season here in the Pioneer League. Fastball misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Walston stands 6'6". 230 pounds. Your prototypical first baseman as he looks at ball 3. And a nice guy, just a nice guy. There's not really anybody on this team that isn't a nice guy. As Walston lines the ball past the diving Mario Lison into left center field, and the Angels have their first hit of the game. A line shot into left center field for Chris Walston, and now Giannotti will come to the plate. Giannotti struck out swinging his first at bat. Giannotti's job is to get on base. He's got great speed as he looks at a fastball a little bit low, but I guess it was high enough to catch the knees for strike 1. Here's the delivery. Fastball misses outside for ball 1. Giannotti, a product of the University of Miami, spent some time this year at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. So we'll see him a couple times on ESPN. Here's the delivery. Giannotti swings at a fastball that's over the outside corner for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out to Richard Giannotti. Chris Walston stands on first with a 1-out single. Angels looking to capitalize, and Giannotti swings and misses. The ball gets away from the catcher, but since first base is occupied, Giannotti will not be able to advance. So Giannotti goes down swinging for the 2nd time tonight, and that'll bring up shortstop number 3, Ryan Leahy. Folks, next year in our new stadium, you'll be able to see a display with pictures and bats of Ryan Leahy and Sean Rodriguez as they made history. As he pops the ball into shallow right center field, it looks like the second baseman, Eddie Solis, will go back and make the play just in front of right fielder Brian McFall to avoid a collision. And that ends the inning here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Angels trail 4-0. We'll be back with more Angels baseball. So Nick Green's evening is done here in Provo, having given up 4 runs on 6 hits. 2 of them on a 2-run home run by third baseman Billy Butler. And the Angels trail 4-0. Carl Jelena, the native of Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, Quebec, will come in and take over. Jelena on the season is 2-1 with an 8.06 ERA. Has started 4 games and seen action in 6. Started the season in the bullpen and then worked his way into the starting rotation. Is now back coming out of the bullpen. But definitely a strong talent, very smooth delivery. Big right-hander. And gives the Angels quite a lot to work with. Struggled giving up home runs. But that's what you're here to work on in Pioneer League ball. So Jelena will come in. He'll face Rusty Brown. The first baseman is a ground ball for the shortstop, Brian Leahy. He scoops it up, throws to first. Walston stretches, and Rusty Brown is first pitch swinging, first pitch out. One of Jelena's strengths is the movement on his pitches, and if he can keep the ball down low, guys will hit ground balls, and he does fine. It's when he gets the ball up, belt high, letter high, that he loses his movement, his velocity. His first pitch to Matt Ferreira catches the outside corner for strike 1. Jelena is set. Here's the delivery. Bounces 59 feet. 4-1. Nice scoop by Ben Johnson, the catcher. Jelena waits for a sign from his catcher, Ben Johnson. Comes set. And here's the delivery. Again, a 59-footer as it bounces away from the catcher this time, Ben Johnson, back into the screen for ball 2. A good idea by Jelena to keep the ball down low. That's where he's most effective. And the delivery to Ferreira is lifted into right center field. J.R. Renz is over to make the play in the sunshine for out number 2. So F9 if you're scoring at home. And Darwinson Salazar comes up to the plate. Salazar has flown out twice to right field. The delivery from Jelena is high and a little bit outside for ball 1. Delivery is grounded to third baseman Andrew Toussaint. Picks it up, throws to first, bobbled the ball a little bit, but nice recovery. And the Angels finally get a 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Angels trail 4-0 here in Provo, Utah.
Provo Angels busy bat races. Tonight's contestants, Steve Orr and Jay Avery have to spin around their bats 10 times, and then a race to first and third base respectively. The winner will receive an Angel logo ball and 2 tickets to an upcoming game. Are we ready? I will count to 10, and then you'll run your race. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 3/4.
Patrick Green still on the mound for the Idaho Falls Chukars has only surrendered 1 hit. The Angels have struggled here at the plate to start the game. We head into the bottom of the 4th inning. They trail 4-0. We'll see Caleb Mayer, Andrew Toussaint, and Ben Johnson, the heart of the order. hopefully they'll get some runs on the board here, and we'll be back in this ball game. Very good crowd, actually filled in tonight quite well. Have a couple of groups. We have Ronald McDonald is with us tonight, visiting on behalf of the McDonalds of Provo and Springville, Dennis Hall. I'd like to thank him for bringing his mascot here. And Mayer steps in against Patrick Green, takes a breaking ball over the inside part of the plate for strike one. See if we can refresh here and get you some National League scores, as we promised a little while ago, as Caleb Mayer swings through the pitch. Looked like it was high and outside of the strike zone, but swings through for strike two. Green comes set. Here's the delivery. Mayer lifts it foul and out of play. Down the right field line and back into the parking lot behind the stadium for strike one. Looks like we've got some finals from the National League. Looks like Montreal is going to take care of New York in Montreal at the Olympic Stadium as Caleb Mayer looks at ball one. So all of a sudden, Expos are out of it and they've come alive. This will be their sixth in a row. Here's the delivery. Caleb Mayer looks at ball two. Green not happy with that call, a little frustrated, thought that caught the inside quarter. Here's the 2-2. Fouled back into the netting. Over the first base dugout. The netting's broken. And the ball rifles into the fans. No one's hurt. Everybody's okay. It's good to see. And actually, they're happy because they get a souvenir. 2-2. Here's the delivery. Mayer lifts it high into right field, but drifting foul and out of play and lands in the swimming pools and the dorms beyond the right field walls. Caleb Mayer looks at a 2-2 pitch. Here's the delivery, and it drills Mayer right in between the 2 and the 4, and he'll head to first base. So Mayer now stands on first, having been hit by the pitch. And Andrew Toussaint comes up to the plate, ready to bring in a couple of RBI here for the Angels. Patrick Green been able to confound Provo batters so far, having only given up one hit, but Angels finally get their leadoff batter on, and Green again misses in very tight with a curveball. Very close to the letters of Andrew Toussaint's jersey. Crowd doesn't like it. So 1 ball, no strikes, no out here in the bottom of the fourth. Angels trail 4-0 as Toussaint looks at ball 2, low and in the dirt. And it looks like the Chukars pitching coach, Jose Bautista, will make the slow walk out to the plate, to the mound, to visit with his young pitcher. We'll take a few seconds for a pause. We'll be back with more Angels baseball at sportsjuice.com.
Bryce is in the tool, is it? If I tuck the bit of my can like so, it means the signal is a fake. However, I can take that off by dusting my hands personally. If I wanted to butt, we'll touch my belt buckle not once, not twice, but twice.
Oh, I don't understand a word he's saying. I need this something bad. I wish I was home with a big bag of potato chips. Potato chips.
We're back, and Toussaint lifts a high fly ball into shallow right field. Second baseman Eddie Solis is underneath it. He gathers it in for the out. And there's one away here in the bottom of the fourth. Ben Johnson's 0 for 1, having flown out to left in the second inning. Some more scores from around the National League. Pittsburgh and Atlanta went to town, and Atlanta wins 1-0 at PNC Park as Johnson looks at ball one. Florida and Philadelphia are in a rain delay right now, with Florida on top 3-2 in Miami. Johnson fouls it. Next delivery back over our heads here in the press box and out of play for strike one. St. Louis and Cincinnati with an NL Central battle with St. Louis on top at the Great American Ballpark. 11-7. Chicago and Milwaukee at Miller Park, in Milwaukee. As Johnson looks at ball two. Milwaukee on top 5-2 there. Houston's on top of Arizona 6-1. Colorado and Los Angeles with Los Angeles on top 2-1 in Colorado at Coors Field. Counts 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out to Ben Johnson. Green steps off and throws back over to first, holding Caleb Mayer tight to the bag. And San Francisco and San Diego are getting ready to start off at Petco Park. Brand new, sparkling new Petco Park in San Diego. Delivery from Johnson is fouled back into the screen for strike two. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the catcher, Ben Johnson. 1 out here. In the bottom of the fourth, the Angels trail 4-0. Caleb Mayer was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. He stands at first base right now. Green comes set. Here's the 2-2. Ball misses inside and low, and the count's now full. Ben Johnson was a 23rd round draft pick this year out of the University of Washington, a native of Bellevue, just right outside of Seattle. And Mayer is heading to first base. And it looks like batter Ben Johnson called time right before the pitcher came set. So Mayer was caught in between first and second, but was told to head back to first and does so safely. So Mayer's going here. He's running, and Johnson is swinging, and the ball bounces over the head of the pitcher. He recovers, throws to first, and Johnson is retired 1-3. On the play, Mayer moves over to second base. So the only person tonight who has been able to get solid wood on the ball is Chris Walston with his single in the third inning. Everybody else has really struggled as Johnson weakly grounds out to the pitcher. I think I started to say this earlier, though. The nice thing about this lineup is, you're right, they're struggling right now, but I don't think that that'll continue. You never know, as we saw with the Missoula game a couple weeks ago. They were down by 6 runs and were able to pile on 9 in an inning. So Angels are very capable of doing so. Looks like we've got a pitching change. We'll be back in about 15 seconds with more Angels baseball. SportsJuice.com. Back here in Provo, Utah, Zach Frazier bringing you all of the Angels action for 2004. We've got a pitching change for the Idaho Falls Chukars. Number 30, Bobby Beeson, taking over for Patrick Green. Green pitching well, only having given up 1 hit. But it looks like his night is done here. Beeson is a left-hander, 0 for 2. No wins, 2 losses, with a 6.08 ERA with 7 appearances. Has thrown 23 2/3 innings and has struggled with the ERA a bit. So hopefully the Angels will be able to take advantage of his weakness in that category. And Mike Perdomo will be the leadoff hitter. Caleb Mayer now stands at second base, having advanced on the fielder's choice. So Mike Perdomo comes up. Perdomo reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. And he looks at a first pitch low and inside for ball one. Caleb Mayer stands at second base, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. The Angels trail 4-0. Beeson comes set, and here's the delivery. Perdomo swings and misses at a big fastball, strike one. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out here in the bottom of the fourth. The Angels trail 4-0. With runners in scoring position here, however, in the bottom of the fourth, they can take advantage. Here's the 1-1. And a line drive to the first baseman. Rusty Brown picks it up and will handle it himself for out number 3. So Perdomo unable to get the job done. And the Angels strand another runner in scoring position. The Angels trail 4-0 after 4 complete innings here in Provo, Utah. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball at SportsJuice.com.
Everyone all on your feet. Watch the kids on the dugout if you need a little bit. Ready. Here we go with the Carabas. Check it down.
Back here in the top of the 5th inning, the Angels trail 4-0. As Bradley Hayes, the designated hitter, will lead things off for the Idaho Falls Chukars against Carl Jelna, the native of Quebec. The delivery from Jelna misses outside for ball one. It is wind up, and here's the pitch. Line drive. Right to Mike Perdomo in left field. Perdomo takes 2 steps to his left and gathers it in for the out. So Hayes hits the ball hard, but right at left fielder Mike Perdomo, who gathers it in, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 5th as left fielder Alexander Bautista steps up. Jelena comes set, and here's the delivery. Great slider as it drifts away from the right-handed Bautista to the outside part of the plate for strike one. Jelena is set, and here's the delivery. Again, a slider, but misses low this time for ball one, evening the count at 1 apiece. 1 ball, 1 strike, and here's the delivery. Ball that misses inside, just about caught Bautista on the kneecaps. The count's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Jelna comes set line right back up the middle. Jelna has to duck to get out of the way, and Bautista now stands at first with a 1-out single.
Third baseman number 16, Billy Butler.
So Butler, who is 1 for 2 today, having struck out looking in the first inning, and had a monster home run to right center over the Barber Brothers Mitsubishi sign in right field. A 2-run shot, and the runner's going. The throw from Johnson is right there in time. Alexander Bautista caught stealing. Great throw by catcher Ben Johnson. Had him beat by a good 2-3 steps. So there's now 2 out here. Billy Butler took the pitch on the outside for ball 1. And here's the 1-0. High and tight for ball 1. Ball 2. Good heavens. Let me clarify, folks. There are 2 balls in the count. I apologize. Jelna comes set, and here's the delivery. The 2-0. Lifted a high fly ball to right field. J.R. Rand is getting all turned around. Cannot make the play. And Billy Butler will now stand at third. It'll be interesting to see. It is scored a hit. So, a lazy fly ball that should have been out number 3 turns into a triple, a 2-out triple for Billy Butler. And it's a good job that Ben Johnson was able to throw out Alexander Bautista at second base, or we'd be looking at a 5-0 ball game. So Brian McFall, the right fielder, will come up to the plate now. 2 out. Runners on third, and Jelna's delivery misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to right fielder Brian McCall. Jelna is set. A weak ground ball. A little number to the first baseman. Chris Walston flips it over to the covering Jelna for out number 3. So the Angels are able to escape that inning without any runs allowed. And we head into the bottom of the 5th with the Angels trailing 4-0. The sun has finally set, except for the far reaches of left and right field. The corners still have a little bit of sun left, but shade has engulfed Larry H. Miller Field here. The lights are on. The temperature is cool, and it's time for the Angels bats to heat up. As we'll have Josh LeBlanc followed by J.R. Renz and Chris Walston. As the Angels trail 4-0, looking to get some runs on the board in support of middle reliever Carl Jelna, who has come in and done a nice job shutting down the Idaho Falls Chukars, who picked up 4 runs on starter Nick Green. We'll see if the Angels are able to do that. Bobby Beeson, is still on the mound for the Idaho Falls Chukars. Beeson, a 6'3", 225-pound left-hander who last pitched for Southern Arkansas.
Leading off for your Provo Angels, number 18, Josh LeBlanc.
So Josh LeBlanc will step up to the plate. LeBlanc today is 0 for 1, having flown out to the left fielder, Alexander Bautista. Beeson comes set, and here's the delivery. This is well inside for ball one. Beeson sets up all the way on the left side of the rubber, falling off towards third base. His left heel, in fact, is all the way on the left side of the rubber and comes across his body and then falls off back again towards the third base side as LeBlanc looks at strike one. But a very dramatic delivery for Bobby Beeson. Here's the delivery. Fastball that misses high and outside for ball two. The Angels have struggled to get their leadoff runners on. Have done so in 2 innings, but then have been unable to capitalize. As LeBlanc looks at ball three, a ball that almost caught him on the hand. And a very good Wednesday night crowd here for Weenie Wednesday, looking to cheer on an Angels comeback. They trail 4-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. Beeson comes set. Here's the 3-1. LeBlanc looks at strike two and runs the count full. Not a bad idea. Make a guy who hasn't thrown a lot of pitches today and seems to be struggling with his control throw a strike. So here's the full count. Delivery to Josh LeBlanc, and he fouls it off his chin. Actually, off his chest, just underneath his chin. Stays alive with a full count. Dave Jacobson thinks that I'm the superstar. Here's the full count delivery to LeBlanc, and he lines the ball right to the second baseman, Eddie Solis, and it skips over his glove on into right field. And it looks like Solis will be credited, or will not be credited with a hit. LeBlanc will not be credited with a hit, but rather an E4.
Now batting number 25, J.R. Wren.
And the Angels have still been unable to get past that one-hit plateau. But the good news is they have their leadoff runner on. LeBlanc hit the ball squarely, very hard, right at the second baseman, and Solis misplayed it, bringing up J.R. Wren, who, as we mentioned, is one of the league leaders in RBIs with 29, and LeBlanc is off towards second base, and he'll slide in safely, well ahead of the throw, with a stolen base.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. A young man with an orange tank top is at Portal C and is looking for his mother and father.
So, no balls, one strike. And Josh LeBlanc now stands at second base with a stolen base. Angels threatening with runners in scoring position here early in the fifth inning as Renz takes the ball inside, evening the count at 1 apiece. So J.R. Renz, 1-1 count with Josh LeBlanc at second. And Renz looks at a curveball outside for ball two. Renz with an opportunity to pick up his 30th RBI. In games that the Angels have struggled scoring runs, it's because they strand runners in scoring position. In games where they have done well, they capitalize. Here's an opportunity for them to capitalize, and Renz lifts a high fly ball, drifting foul towards the Idaho Falls Chukars bullpen, and it falls into the bullpen. Out of play for strike two. And even if Renz is unable to drive the run in at this point in time, if he can lift that fly ball to the right side, to right field, medium depth, that'll be enough for Josh LeBlanc to move over to third base, which is what their Angels need right now. They simply need runners in scoring position and being able to capitalize on those runners in scoring position. Beeson comes set, stops and turns towards second base. LeBlanc ducks back in. Fans wanted a balk. but Beeson was clean in his motion. His hands come together, and here's the pitch, the 2-2. Renz looks at a pitch that is shoelace high for strike 3. Bad call by the home plate umpire. And certainly fans are not happy with that call. Very apparent. Ball almost hit the dirt. But nevertheless, J.R. Renz is put down looking for the first out here in the 5th inning. That brings up Chris Walston, who is 1 for 1, the only hit tonight, recorded by first baseman Chris Walston. Comes set, and the ball is inside and low for ball 1. Some notables getting the night off tonight for the Provo Angels. Cliff Remily, Sean Rodriguez, Nate Sutton among those getting a rest. And here's the delivery. Walston looks at strike 1 as it catches the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. As you mentioned, team bus got in about 8:30 this morning. And the Angels players are certainly in need of a good restful night tonight at home. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. LeBlanc stands at second base. And here's the delivery to Walston as he swings through a fastball that was a little bit up and away, but recorded for a strike nonetheless. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. The Angels trail 4-0. They have been out-hit 8-1 by the Idaho Falls Chukars. Perhaps the Chukars exacting a bit of revenge for having lost the first half race. Here's the delivery, and Walston grounds the ball to the third base side. Third baseman Billy Butler gathers it in, throws it onto first. Josh LeBlanc will move over to third base on the play, and Walston is retired 5-3. So Richard Giannotti will step up to the plate. Giannotti's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts tonight, and he's now hitting from the right side, the switch hitting Giannotti against the left-handed Beeson as he takes the first pitch high and outside for ball 1. One of the advantages of having a speedy leadoff hitter be a switch hitter is it causes matchup problems for managers across the league as he takes first pitch inside for strike 1. It caught the inside corner. Looked a little low and inside to me, but one of the reasons why I'm 300 feet up in a press box and they're down on the field. Here's the 1-1, 2 out, and Giannotti swings, fouls it back into the press box, hits right above our head, and bounces down back into the crowd for strike 2. Shortstop Ryan Leahy due up next if Giannotti is able to get on base. Here's the delivery. Giannotti pops it up. Little weak pop-up. Pitcher Beeston is calling it off, and the catcher comes running and did not hear his pitcher. But Beeston able to gather it in for out number 3. So the Angels are able to get a runner in scoring position with no outs, but are unable to capitalize here in the bottom of the 5th. And after 5 full innings, they still trail 4-0. We'll be back with more Angels baseball at ProvoAngels.com.
You are correct. 1% of the Earth's water is available for all of its agriculture, residential, manufacturing, community, and personal needs. 2% of Earth's water is locked up in ice caps and glaciers, and 97% is salt here, otherwise invisible. Congratulations. Congratulations to Chris.
Je vous souhaite le grand bienvenue à nos amis au Québec qui nous écoutent au nom de Carl Jalanan, qui nous écoute pour poursuivre la promotion de Carl Jalanan. Just wishing a hello to our friends in Quebec. Carl Jalanan, a Quebec native, has friends and family listening tonight. Just out of the did you know fact, my family is from Quebec and I used to live there, so just throwing a little hello to those folks. Some scores from around the league. Billings and Helena are all tied up at 5 apiece. Helena coming back with a big third inning, 5 runs. And Casper and Ogden on top 4-0 as they head to the 4th inning there. A delivery from Jelena to Mario Lison catches the outside corner for strike 1. And Missoula and Great Falls on top 3-0. The delivery from Jelena drifts outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss. Nice slider from the righty from up north. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the delivery. 1-2. Drifts outside and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the delivery. Foul ball back into the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lison stays alive. Here's the 2-2 lifted high. Pop foul back behind home plate. Johnson gives chase as it drifts into the crowd and catches a fan on the arm. Hit him right on the shoulder. So Lison stays alive, fouling back that pitch behind home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no out. Here in the top of the 6th, the Angels trail 4-0. Here's the delivery from Jelena. Ground ball to the third baseman, Andrew Toussaint. He bobbles the ball, picks it up, will not have time to throw, so the Angels commit their first error of the night. And Lison reaches safely on an E5.
Second baseman, number 1.
Eddie Solis hitting .405 coming into the game. And himself has a double in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Jelena throws over to first, keeping the speedy Mario Lison tight to the bag. Jelena comes set, and it's a pitch out, snap throw. But the ball never made it down to first base. Skipped out of the hands of Ben Johnson. Not far enough away for Lison to scamper over to second base, but a wasted pitch out there. So 1 ball, no strikes, no out. Jelena throws back over to first. Little snap throw. Lison just did get back in. Very good move for the right-hander. We haven't had an opportunity to see very much of his move to first base, but it's showing us a lot right there. Here's the 1-0. Ball up and inside. Counts out 2 balls, no strikes to Eddie Solis. Jelena again throws, snap throw back over to the bag. To first base as Solis steps back in safely. Again, another snap throw back over to first base. Jelena must see something out of the corner of his eye. And so Lison does have a sizable lead at first base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice movement on that fastball as it drifts outside, and Solis is unable to catch up. 2 balls, 1 strike. Outfield playing straight away. Sun is completely gone. Shade has completely engulfed the field as Jelena throws over to first. Very close play at first base. Lison very brave, not diving back in, staying up tall. 2 balls, 1 strike, no out to Eddie Solis, and here's the pitch. Fastball that catches the inside corner. Solis checked his swing. Strike 2. Lison had started towards second base and stopped about a third of the way there and scampers back to first. Look to Jean that comes set. Here's the 2-2. Great pitch. Strike 3. And Lisson comes off the bag, but the umpire still maintains that he's safe. He beat the slide in, but as he was popping up, came off the bag. LeBlanc kept the tag on him, but the umpire maintained no, he was in there safely. Solis is down swinging. Lisson now stands at second base with a stolen base. So 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. This game is moving along very quickly. Hour and a half, and we're 2/3 of the way through. Jean comes set. Here's the delivery to Rusty Brown. Hard ground ball past the diving Josh LeBlanc. And Rusty Brown is on with a 2-out single. It looked actually, apparently Mario Lisson was thrown out. He did come off the bag and was put out. So he is caught stealing. So strike him out, throw him out. Puts 2 outs on the board. My apologies. At first it looked like the umpire had called him safe, and in fact had called him safe, but did change the call. So my apologies for missing that play. So Rusty Brown now stands at first with a 2-out single. Matt Ferrara comes up and takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Jean that comes set, and here's the delivery. Curveball that catches the outside corner. Strike 1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Jean that comes set. Here's the delivery. Ground ball to the shortstop. Ryan Leahy picks it up, throws to second base for the 4th out. We are out of the inning, so Chukars have been shut down, but they still lead 4-0 as we head into the bottom of the 6th.
Okay, fans, it's time for the Glazy Honest-Drink Donut Eating Contest. Tonight's contestants are Robert Hall, Scott Grove, and Miguel Sandoval. The rules are simple. Eat the soft and tasty Glazy donuts using only your tongue and mouth. Show hands or you'll be disqualified. Are our contestants ready? Let's go!
Back here in Provo, Utah, Larry H. Miller Field. Angels poised for a big comeback here. They've only picked up 1 hit tonight. Have only had a handful of base runners and trail the Idaho Falls Chukars 4-0. So Ryan Leahy, the shortstop, will step into the plate, into the batter's box, up to the plate, as he takes a fastball over the outside corner for strike 1. Leahy is flown out to the center fielder, Darwinson Salazar, and it popped up to the second baseman. And he lines a base hit into left field, right in between the third baseman and the shortstop. And Leahy now stands on first base with a leadoff single. Hopefully the Angels can get something cooking here in the bottom of the sixth. Caleb Mayer steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 1, having struck out looking in the first inning, and it was hit by a pitch in the fourth. Mayer is due. Came into the game hitting .304. One of our clutch RBI guys here in the lineup, and Beeson fakes the throw towards home and steps towards first base. Leahy steps back in safely. Leahy doesn't have a very big lead, only about 4 or 5 feet. With the lefty, you've got to be careful. Here's the delivery. Inside. Just took out Caleb Mayer at the knees, but Shauna Cook felt they caught the inside corner for strike one. No balls, 1 strike. Caleb Mayer. Here's the delivery, and Mayer lifts a line drive right into center field, right at center fielder Darwinson Salazar. So he hit the ball squarely, but right at the center fielder for out number 1.
Third baseman, number 10, Andrew Toussaint.
So Andrew Toussaint steps up. Toussaint walked and was thrown on a fielder's choice and popped up to the second baseman in the fourth inning. Leahy stands at first. Here's the delivery. Toussaint lines the ball right down the right field line, drifting foul. It bounces off the fence, but in foul territory. He hit that ball hard. It got to the fence in a hurry. And now the count is no balls, 1 strike to third baseman Andrew Toussaint. Ryan Leahy stands at first with a leadoff single. Beeson breaks his hand, steps off the mound, and looks over. Leahy gets back to the bag. And Toussaint pops it up back over our heads and into the softball complex behind us here at Larry H. Miller Field. Very soon, folks, at ProvoAngels.com, you'll be able to follow the progress of our new stadium as it goes up. We'll be adding a new link to our website where you can check out photos of Parkway Crossing Stadium as it reaches towards the sky. And Toussaint lifts a high fly ball to center field. Carrying deep back to the warning track is Darwinson Salazar. Darwinson reels it in for out number 2. So Toussaint just misses that.
Catcher number 33, Ben Johnson.
And there's now 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Folks, keep in mind, Friday night we'll be having a concert pianist John Schmidt here at the game. He'll be doing a concert at home plate after the game, followed by fireworks. John Schmidt, a very famous concert pianist out here in the West. Expected to be a packed house here Friday night at Miller Field. And Johnson lines the first pitch down into the Angels dugout. The whole Angels bullpen has to get up and get out of the way. Perdomo swings the bat. He's on deck. Hopes to get a chance to face Bobby Beeson here in the 6th inning. There's a big gap in right center field as the center fielder shifted over towards the left side. And Ben Johnson, the switch hitter, looks at a curveball that catches the outside corner for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Angels trail 4-0. Here's the pitch. Johnson takes the pitch up for ball 1. Right field and left field pretty much straight away, but center fielder Salazar is about 20-30 feet to the left of second base, so there's quite an impressive gap in right center field. Here's the delivery. Johnson takes the ball low for ball 2. Beeson looks into his catcher, Matt Ferrara, gets his signs, comes set, and here's the delivery. Inside at the kneecaps, almost took out Johnson, and the count's now full. So Leahy stands at first base, having led off the inning with a single, followed by 2 flyouts to center field by Caleb Mayer and Andrew Toussaint. Johnson has a full count here, 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th, and Mike Perdomo is in the on-deck circle. Beeson is set, and here's the pitch. Leahy is running. Slaps it into right field, back all the way to the wall, and it keeps carrying, and it is over the wall for a home run, and the right fielder keeps climbing and goes all the way over. Looks like he lost his mitt, so Ben Johnson, an opposite field home run. And the Angels are back in this ballgame just like that. They only trail 4-2. That ball did not look like it was hit very hard. There is no wind here at Larry Schmiller Field. The wind is left, but the ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. Right fielder Brian McFall went up on the wall to make the play, climbed. It looked like he had the catch, but in fact had lost his glove over the wall. So Ben Johnson comes through with an opposite field home run. 2-run shot here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. And the Angels have come to deficit to 2. They now trail 4-2 as Mike Perdomo fouls the first pitch back. He's down, no balls, 1 strike. Here's the delivery from Beeson. And Perdomo lifts a high fly ball to deep center field. Salazar keeps going back. He's at the wall. He's back at the wall. His numbers were up against the blue of the outfield wall, and he gathers it in for out number 3. But the Angels come back, cut the deficit to 2, and now trail 4-2. We'll be back with more Angels baseball at SportsJuice.com. Call wireless call to the bullpen here in Provo, as Carl Jalna's night has done great job by Jalna having shut down the Idaho Falls Chukars, keeping the Angels here in the game. Now on the mound for the Angels will be the big left-hander number 22, Kyle Kowalczyk from West Virginia. P-check as they call him here. As I probably would call him as well. Very difficult to pronounce, but good guy and a good pitcher. Good left-handed arm out of the bullpen for the Angels as Darwinson Salazar takes a fastball over the inside corner for strike 1. He checked it comes set, and here's the delivery. Low and bounces away from catcher Ben Johnson for ball 1. So Salazar will be followed by designated hitter Bradley Hayes and left fielder Alexander Bautista. Here's the pitch. from Pawelczak, a grounded foul down the third base side. Nice scoop by manager Brian Rupp as he throws the ball into the fans, into the crowds down the third base line. And here's the 1-2 from Pawelczak. Great breaking pitch. Pulled the bottom right from out underneath Darwinson Salazar, and he goes down swinging for the first time tonight. He is 0 for 4 in the leadoff spot for the Idaho Falls Chukars. So Kyle Pawelczak effective here in the first batter. And it'll bring up designated hitter Bradley Hayes, who reached on a single in the first and struck out swinging in the third, flying out to left field in the fifth as he swings at a breaking pitch and misses for strike one. Pawelczak, a very tall, very hard-throwing left-hander. Big things expected for him on this staff as his breaking pitch gets away from him and goes about 57 feet. Bounces in front of home plate. Nice job by Ben Johnson to keep it in front. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. As tonight has just turned into an absolutely beautiful night in Provo, Utah. Pawelczak misses inside for ball 2. Cool breeze coming out of Rock Canyon just to the east of us. Pawelczak, a fastball, swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pawelczak quickly gets ahead of Bradley Hayes. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Swing and a miss. So 2 quick strikeouts by left-hander Kyle Pawelczak out of the bullpen. And Bautista comes up to the plate. He is 2 for 3, having struck out in the first, singled and scored in the third, and singled and was caught stealing in the fifth. Here's the delivery from Pawelczak. Again, pulls the bottom out from underneath that breaking pitch. Bautista way out in front, swinging and missing for strike 1. Here's the Pawelczak, a little blooping line drive into center field. Richard Giannotti comes on into right center and makes the catch for out number 3. So very quick, very effective inning for Pawelczak out of the bullpen. Angels trail only 4-2. We'll be back with more Angels baseball here in the bottom of the 7th at sportsjuice.com. Zach Frazier back with you at Larry H. Miller Field in Provo, Utah on www.sportsjuice.com. Some scores from around the Pioneer League. Helena and Billings still tied at 5 as they head into the 4th inning. Ogden on top of Casper 6-0 in the top of the 5th. And Great Falls and Missoula tied at 3 apiece as they head into the top of the 6th. Josh LeBlanc finishing things off for the Angels in the bottom of the 7th against Beeson. Bobby Beeson as he fouls it back towards the Idaho Falls Chukars dugout. for strike one. LeBlanc's 0 for 2, having reached on an error in the 5th inning, was stranded after stealing second base, and he takes the second pitch inside for ball one. LeBlanc, another one of those guys who was out here early today working on BP. Very humble kid, works hard. As he grounds the ball up the middle, pass to the diving second baseman, Eddie Solis, into right center field, takes a big turn at first base, stops about a third of the way down towards the second base, and heads back to first with a leadoff single. So the Angels once again lead off the inning with a base runner, see if they can capitalize and bring in some more runs. They trail 4-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Have been out hit 9-4, but have picked it up here in the last couple of innings. LeBlanc takes a big lead at second. Ren's high fly ball to deep right field, and that is out of here over the scoreboard into the Marriott Center parking lot. A 2-run shot, and just like that, folks, we are tied up at 4 apiece. No doubt about that one as it cleared the Larry H. Miller Field scoreboard, which stands about 65, 70 feet high. And we are back in this ball game, 4-4. As we are in the bottom of the 7th, no out, and the Angels back. So as we said, as the night cools off, their bats heat up. And now first baseman Chris Walston will step to the plate. For a while, he was the only Angel in the lineup with a hit, but has soon been followed by Leahy, Johnson, LeBlanc, and now J.R. Renz as he grounds the ball to third baseman Billy Butler, picks it up, throws to first, the ball skips away from first baseman Rusty Brown, and Walston stands at first, having reached on an error, a throwing error E5. Idaho Falls has yet to be able to record an out here. So Richard Giannotti, the leadoff hitter, 0 for 3 tonight. Being struck out twice and popped up to the pitcher. Here's the pitch, and he squares to bunt, pulls back as the pitch is low and inside. Ball one. Ball, no strikes, no out here. We are all tied up at 4 apiece thanks to J.R. Renz's 2-run blast. Giannotti squares to bunt, pulls back, but it was a strike over the plate. A little bit low, but apparently caught the kneecaps. 4 strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giannotti squares the bunt, and he drops a beauty down the line. Walston comes around. He stands safely at second base. Good job by Richard Giannotti. That pitch started to drift inside. He still was able to get the bunt down as Walston was running. And able to keep it inside the line down the first base side. So Giannotti does the job with the sacrifice bunt. And there's now 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Leahy steps to the plate with runners in scoring position. Walston now stands at second base. Beeston comes set, and here's the delivery. Beeston comes set as the ball drifts well outside for ball 1. Leahy, a graduate of Boston College, native of Salem, Massachusetts. Big East rival, as I grew up in upstate New York, a big fan of Syracuse. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 2. Another guy very soft-spoken, hard-working. You can always tell the kind of teams that Tom Kochman has because there's There's no one on here that showboats. There's no one on here that tries to show each other up. They work hard as a team, and they recognize that, hey, this is not the end-all of their careers. If they want to keep going in baseball, this is where they have to develop those good work habits. Here's the delivery to Leahy. Curveball that misses outside, runs the count to 3-0. Very little, as we call, big leaguing in here. Or as they call it. I don't call that, but the term, I guess, is big leaguing. Guys that act like they're major leaguers at the rookie level, and you don't see that necessarily here in Provo. There's a lot of guys that are pretty humble and work hard. Beeson comes set. Here's the 3-0. Leahy is taking all the way, and fastball catches the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. So the Angels, with 1 out here, have runners in scoring position, have the opportunity to take the lead after having been trailing most of the game 4-0. Have picked up 2 in the 6th off of Ben Johnson's 2-run home run, and 2 more here in the 7th off of J.R. Renz's 2-run home run. And Leahy looks at ball 4. So Ryan Leahy will stand at first base with a 1-out walk. Walston still remains in second. And DH Caleb Mayer comes up to the plate. And it looks like Jose Bautista, pitching coach of the Idaho Falls Chukars, will make a slow walk out to the mound. And we will take a slow break here as well here in Provo, Utah. We'll be back with more Angels baseball at sportsjuice.com. Here in Provo, Utah, Zach Frazier bringing you all the action at sportsjuice.com for your Provo Angels 2004 season. Caleb Mayer steps into the batter's box with an opportunity to really break this game open. It's a 4-4 tie ball game in the bottom of the 7th, 1 out with runners on first and second. Spin move by Beeson. Walston steps back in safely to second base. Andrew Toussaint in the on-deck circle, and I am certain that the Idaho Falls Chukars do not want to walk or allow Caleb Mayer to get on base here and give Toussaint the opportunity to hit with the bases loaded. He is lethal. Here's the pitch. Big cut by Caleb Mayer at a fastball, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out here, runners at first and second. Provo Angels have come back and tied this ball game out by 4 apiece with a 2-run shot by J.R. Renz as Mayer looks at a ball low and away for ball 2. Excuse me, that's ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at first and second here, bottom of the 7th inning. 4-4 ball game in Provo, Utah. Here's the pitch from Beeson. Mayer grounds the ball softly into the Angels dugout and is now behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the old adage sticks as seems that this year as the temperature cools in the night, the Angels bats heat up. Angels are lethal towards the end of the game. Here's the pitch from Beeson, misses high, and the count's even at 2 apiece. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Andrew Toussaint waits his turn on deck, looking to take the outright lead in the Pioneer League with home runs. He is tied right now at 10 with Bobby Mosby of the Billings Mustangs. High fly ball down the right field line, drifting foul and into the bullpen, over the bullpen actually, of the Idaho Falls Chukars. There is a slight breeze right now blowing left to right. So balls hit towards the right side will tend to carry as that ball continue to carry past the fence. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Beeson, and again, Mayer swings and fouls it off back over the first base side of the field and out of play for keeping the count alive at 2-2. That breeze feels very good coming in here through the press box. Very comfortable evening, and it's still only 9 o'clock. Game's moved along quite well here. Here's the 2-2. Again, catches Mayer on the outside of his left thigh. Second time tonight that he's been hit by a pitch. And again, not what you wanted to do. So right now, bases are loaded for Andrew Toussaint. And it looks like the night is done for Bobby Beeson. He came in and struggled after starter Patrick Green had pitched a gem. Beeson, it looks like his night is going to be done here in the 7th inning. So with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, the Idaho Falls Chukars will bring in a new pitcher, a right-hander, to face Andrew Toussaint. And we'll be back with that new pitcher and with more baseball at sportsjuice.com, your source of Provo Angels baseball in 2004. Back here in Provo, Utah, looks like number 5, Lucas Palmer, the right-hander, on to face Andrew Toussaint. Bases loaded here for the slugger from Southern California. And here's a delivery from Lucas. Curveball that misses inside, 4-1. So what do you do as a manager? You can't put him on because bases are loaded. Do you walk him? Well, Ben Johnson had a 2-run home run in the last inning. Tough situation for the Idaho Falls Chukars manager and coaching staff as Toussaint fouls the fastball back and out of play for strike 1. So you just hope that your pitcher can get the job done in this very precipitous situation for the Kansas City Royals affiliates. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. Toussaint high, fly ball to deep center field. It's not going to get out of play, but it will be deep enough to score a run. Salazar is underneath it. Chris Walston tags from third and scores, and Leahy tags from second and moves over to third. Mayer is stranded at first with a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Andrew Toussaint, who did his job and got the ball in the air. And again, Toussaint just missed getting all of that. And now there's runners at first and third. Caleb Mayer still at first. Ryan Leahy moved over to third on the sacrifice fly. And Ben Johnson comes up to the plate. So, Angels now lead 5-4 as they've battled back from a 4-0 deficit. Lucas Palmer's delivery to Ben Johnson. This is outside for ball one. Be sure, fans, to give us an email here. Let us know what you think. Let us know the things that we can improve at sportsjuice.com as we attempt to bring you all the action that we can here at Provo Angels 2004 as the delivery to Johnson sails outside for ball two. Johnson is 1 for 3 today with a 2-run home run in the sixth inning. A drive that went 346 feet over a 345-foot wall, or 345-foot distance. It is barely clearing the wall. And the delivery from Palmer is outside for ball three. Lucas Palmer last pitch for the Arizona Royals, the Arizona League affiliate, just below us here in Idaho. And Johnson has walked on 4 pitches. That'll bring up Mike Perdomo. So Perdomo will be the 9th batter of the inning, and he comes to the plate with the bases loaded, has an opportunity to really bust this thing open here. As the Angels lead 5-4, we're getting close to Mitch Arnold time. Big 6'9" closer comes down and shuts things out for the Provo Angels. Here's the delivery from Lucas Palmer. Big breaking ball that catches the outside corner, strike one. Ben Johnson at first, Caleb Mayer at second, Ryan Leahy at third. Here's the delivery. Perdomo swings and fouls it past Tom Kochman down the third baseline. And quickly falls behind 0-2. Perdomo's due here so far this year. Perdomo only has 2 home runs, but is certainly capable of that kind of power. So here's the 0-2. Low and in the dirt, skips away from the catcher, Matt Ferrara, but not far enough away to allow Leahy to score. Lucas Palmer comes set. Here's the 1-2. Perdomo swings and misses, and Palmer gets out of the jam. Swung at ball 2 and fails. Palmer out of the inning, but the Angels are still able to come up with 3 big runs and have taken the lead 5-4 as we head into the top of the 8th. We'll be back with more Angels baseball at ProvoAngels.com.
Sharing your special day with your Provo Angels. third baseman number 16, Billy Butler.
So back here in Provo, Utah, Larry H. Miller Field, Angels have recaptured the lead 5-4. Actually taking the lead for the first time as Kowalczyk faces off against third baseman Billy Butler. Misses low and inside, 4-1. The Angels did bat around. All 9 batters came to the plate that inning. As Kowalczyk's delivery to Butler catches the outside corner, strike 1. Still have been out hit by the Chukars, 9-5, but have been shut down. The Chukars have only picked up 3 hits here in the last 3 innings. Butler fouls it back and is now behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Be interesting to see what the attendance was tonight as Kowalczyk's delivery to Butler misses low and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He did have a very good crowd here for a midday Wednesday night. It looks like people are here to support their Pioneer League Southern Division first half champions. A lot going on that they don't want to miss. Here's the delivery from Kowalczyk. Just misses high. And the count's now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Billy Butler. Kowalczyk shakes off Johnson. Agrees at the next sign, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice slider by Kowalczyk. He has it going on tonight as he records his 3rd strikeout of the night.
Now batting number 22, Brian McFall.
And Brian McFall will not come to the plate. He's 0 for 3, having flown out to left field, struck out looking, and grounded out to the third baseman. Kowalczyk is set. Here's the delivery. Change up that catches the inside corner for strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Curveball just misses outside. Shanna Cook looked like she wanted to call that a strike, but reluctantly called it a ball. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, swing and a foul ball, down third base side. Manager Brian Rupp of the Chukars makes the play. And the fan gets a nice new souvenir. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball again down the third base side. This is all the way into the Provo Angels bullpen. Count stands at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Infield back. Middle infield with their heels against the outfield grass. Corners a good distance back, trying to make sure balls don't get passed into the outfield. The outfield is at medium depth and playing pretty much straight away with the exception of Giannotti, who is about 10-15 feet to the left of second base. Here's the delivery from Kowalczyk. A little blooper. Drifting into shallow left field. Leahy is back and gathers it in for out number 2.
Now batting number 7, the shortstop, Mario Lison.
So Mario Lison will come up to the plate. He is 1 for 2, having reached on an error in the 6th, having walked in the 2nd and come around and scored a run. Here's the delivery from Kowalczyk. Big curveball. I mean, that thing started up around Lison's head and broke down to his knees for strike 1. Here's the delivery. Another curveball that misses outside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kowalczyk comes set, and here's the delivery. Low inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Kowalczyk comes set, and here's the pitch. Fouled back over the first base dugout and drifting out of the ballpark into the parking lot behind us. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Here's the delivery. Catches the outside corner. Pichek is on a roll. Picks up his 4th strikeout tonight. And the Chukars are set down 1, 2, 3. So we're heading into the bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels lead 5-4. We'll be back with more Angels baseball. 5-4 Angels lead. Heading into the bottom of the 8th.
From the Daily Herald. Lowercase keeper, give it a good rip. So good against it. Okay, Rob. It's your turn. Bust it out of the mark.
Back here in Provo, Utah, Zach Frazier bringing you all the action for your Angels in 2004. The Angels lead 5-4 as we head into the bottom of the 8th, and while the 2 big hits, Ben Johnson's 2-run shot and J.R. Renz's 2-run shot, which tied it up, I'd have to say that the key to tonight's game has been the middle relief. Carl Jelena and Kyle Kowalczyk have come in and shut down the Idaho Falls Chukars, who had taken a commanding 4-0 lead to start the game as LeBlanc grounds the first pitch to the shortstop, picks it up and throws it on to first. Nice play by Mario Leson to get the leadoff man Josh LeBlanc. But Pichek has been especially dominant, coming in 4 strikeouts in 6 batter space and has not allowed a runner. So key to any good team is a strong pitching staff, especially out of the bullpen, and they have done that. J.R. Renz, in his last at-bat, homered to tie the game up at 4 apiece, comes up to the plate, takes a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Here's the delivery, and a little blooper that's going to drop into center field for a base hit. Renz takes a big turn at first base, but heads back with a single.
Now batting first baseman number 30, Chris Walton.
So Renz, who struck out in his first 2 at-bats, has come alive and is now 2 for 4. Now stands at first with a 1-out single. Chris Walton will come up to the plate. Again, quite a sizable gap in right center field, as they are playing Walton to pull. Here's the delivery, and he pulls the ball all right down the third base line past the diving third baseman. J.R. Renz makes a big turn at second base, but puts on the brakes. Good job of picking up the ball in front of him and not forcing a play at third base, and instead of 2 out now, Angels have runners at first and second with back-to-back singles. And center fielder Richard Giannotti comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt in the 7th. So Lucas Palmer in a little bit of a jam here. Here's the pitch. Giannotti takes it outside for ball 1. seems as if the Angels have woken up from their long road trip to end the first half of the season. Come alive here in the last 2 innings, having picked up 2 runs in the 6th and 3 in the 7th to take the lead. As Giannotti looks at the second delivery from Palmer, low and outside. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out. Here's the delivery from Palmer. Giannotti takes a change up that catches the outside corner for strike 1. Chris Walton stands at first. J.R. Wren stands at second, the 2 with back-to-back singles here in the bottom of the 8th. And the delivery from Palmer misses low and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Looks like Frederick Carney is warming up in the bullpen instead of giving big closer Mitch Arnold the nod. Or they may just let Pichek close it out for him here. He's done a great job. Here's the delivery, and Giannotti fouls it back just to the left of us here in the press box and out of play. Counts now 3-2. So look for runners to be going here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Or at least Wren's. They are not, and Giannotti lifts a high fly ball into the gap into right center. Right fielder Brian McFall makes a nice sliding catch. As Wren's will tag up, makes a round at third base, and he now stands at third base. Chris Walton is stranded at first. So another sacrifice fly for Richard Giannotti. He had a sacrifice bunt in the 7th, a sacrifice fly here in the 8th for out number 2. Nice sliding catch by Brian McFall. Looked for a second as if he had dropped the ball, but had not. And made the play. So Ryan Leahy steps up to the plate with runners in scoring position. Leahy has an opportunity to do some damage here. Walson at first base, Wren's at third, Leahy at the plate. And here's the delivery. High and tight, Leahy has to duck to get out of the way. Looks like that pitch got away from Lucas Palmer. Angels looking to add an insurance run as Carney speeds up his warm-up here. Here's the delivery. Fastball that drifts outside, ball 2. Caleb Mayer waiting on deck. He's been hit by 2 pitches today. And Leahy checks his swing, is fooled on a curveball. Very upset at himself. Fiery little Irish guy from Massachusetts. I can just imagine what he's saying to himself right now. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out here. Here's the pitch. Curveball that catches the outside corner, strike 2. Crowd's sticking around tonight. Again, it's only 9:30, so here's the delivery. Walton takes off, running a high bouncer to the third baseman. Caught in between the shortstop and the third baseman. No one's covering the bag. So runners score. J.R. Wren scores. Walton moves all the way to third base, and Leahy gets an infield hit and an RBI. Smart heads-up base running by Chris Walton as both the third baseman, Billy Butler, and the shortstop, Mario Leeson, had gone after the ball. No one was covering the bag. Heads-up base running as he moves over to third base, and Leahy now stands at first with an RBI infield single. The Angels do pick up that insurance run and now lead 6-4. Caleb Mayer comes up, runners at first and third as he takes a fastball over the inside corner, strike 1. Called the shoelace strike. Which is He's been calling it all night, though, folks, so you have to go up there looking to swing at it. Here's the 0-1 from Palmer. Takes it inside and high for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out here. Angels have picked up an insurance run, now leads 6-4. Ryan Leahy dives back in as Palmer throws over to first. Toussaint in the on-deck circle again, not the person you want to load the bases for, so Palmer has to be very careful here as he pitches to Caleb Mayer. Here's the pitch. Up high and tight, ball 2. Palmer already on the rubber, waiting for his catcher, Matt Ferrara, to come set. Palmer is set, and here's the delivery. Big breaking ball that misses low, ball 3. So Mayer, after having taken the first pitch over the inside corner for strike 1, has worked the count to 3-1 with 3 consecutive balls. And Palmer is set, fakes the move to third. Fakes again over to first, and the fans are screaming for a ball. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 out to Caleb Mayer. And here's the pitch. A little bloop lifted into right field. Brian McFall is underneath it for out number 3. So looks like it's going to be a call to the bullpen. As the Angels pick up another run, 6-4, they now lead as we head into the top of the 9th. We'll be back with more Angels baseball here at SportsJuice.com. So just when you think you know what's going on, Tom Kossman throws you a curveball, and instead of putting Frederick Carney on the mound, puts number 19, Casey Mutter. Mutter, a native of Rialto, California, and he throws to Eddie Solis, swings and misses at a fastball for strike 1. Solis lines the second pitch into left field for a single. So Solis on with a leadoff single. As Mutter grooved a fastball in there, belt high.
Now batting first baseman number 33, Rusty.
Mr. Brown will take the Batter's box now. No out here. Leadoff batter Eddie Solis gets on with a single as Rusty Brown swings through the fastball. Delivery from Casey Mutter for strike one. Actually, it looked a little bit more like a changeup because he was way out in front of that pitch. Here's the 0-1. Curveball that just misses outside for ball one. Mutter looking to pick up his first save of the season. Here's the delivery. Fastball drifts outside ball two. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Rusty Brown. Brown is 2 for 3 today with an RBI double. In the second inning, and the delivery for Mutter is up high, and the count's now 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. No out here. Eddie Solis stands at first base. Rusty Brown represents the tying run, and Mutter throws and misses low for ball four. So Brown is now on first. Solis is at second.
Now batting, catcher, number 23, Matt Ferrara.
Matt Ferrara, the catcher, comes up to the plate. Looks like there's going to be a pinch runner. We'll see what his number is here in a second. As we wait to get word from the official scorer who the runner is now on first base, it's kind of hard to tell. He did not let us see his number. Looks like it may be Geraldo Valentin, but we'll wait for the official word. Yeah, it is number 2, Geraldo Valentin, now in running for Rusty Brown. So Matt Ferrara steps up to the plate with runners on first and second. No out here. He is the go-ahead run, and he squares to bunt. The ball is up high. And a snap throw by Ben Johnson. A fake play by Casey Mutter as he throws his mitt up, drops it down, and the runner at second base has put out. Great play by Ben Johnson and Ryan Leahy. So fancy little play, a little snap throw by Ben Johnson. Mutter throws his glove up like he's going to catch it, drops his glove down real quick. Leahy is there waiting, perfect throw. And the pitch to Ferrara is fouled back into the Angels dugout. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Matt Ferrara, but the big play, the snap throw by catcher Ben Johnson. And Leahy so nonchalant, just waiting right there at the bag. Glove right there, ball right there. Solis not there, and he is out. Ferrara swings through a changeup for strike number 2. And all of a sudden, the Chukars' big inning. No longer so because of the great defensive play by Ben Johnson and Ryan Leahy. Mutter comes set. Here's the 1-2. Curveball catches the outside corner for strike 3. Matt Ferrara caught looking for out number 2. So the Chukars are down to their last out here in the top of the 9th. And Darwinson Salazar, the center fielder, comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Mutter comes set. Here's the delivery. Catches, just misses the inside corner for ball 1. Geraldo Valentin still stands at first base, having pinch run for Rusty Brown. And Salazar fouls the second pitch back into the net. 1 ball, 1 strike. Valentin at second, 2 out here. In the top of the 9th, the delivery from Mutter is low and in the dirt. And Salazar is ahead in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's a delivery from Mutter. Misses outside, and the count's now 3-1. Mutter does not want to put this runner on base and allow the go-ahead run to come back up in the form of Brad Hayes. So here's the 3-1. Fastball that looked like it was right at the knees, right over the heart of the plate, but apparently missed low. So Salazar earns a 2-out walk, and there's now runners at first and second. Brad Hayes, the designated hitter, comes up to the plate, and Tom Kochman will make a trip out to the mound. We'll take a quick break here at SportsJuice.com. We'll be back with 2 out here in the top of the 9th of Angels baseball. Well, the visit by Tom Kochman was a short one. He will leave Casey Mutter in there to work out of the jam. The Angels lead 6-4 here in the top of the 9th. Here's the delivery. Check swing, and Brad Hayes did go around. Strike 1. Great pitch by Casey Mutter. Geraldo Valentin stands at second base. The pinch runner, Darwinson Salazar, the leadoff hitter, at first with a walk. Mutter forces it outside, misses low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Again, check swing, and it looked like it should have been strike 2. Shauna Cook did not call it as such. Counts now 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the delivery, 2-1. Misses low and away. It counts now 3-1. Casey Mutter looks a little flustered by not getting that call. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Runners go. And ball 4 misses well outside, so bases are now loaded, and it looks like Casey Mutter's night is done. Tom Kochman walking out to the mound. He will call on Frederick Carney to come in from the bullpen. We as well will take a break. We'll be back with more Angels baseball at SportsJuice.com. So we're back here in Provo, Utah. Zach Frazier bringing you the action tonight as the Angels battle the Idaho Falls Chukars. It's 6-4 with 2 out here in the top of the 9th. Casey Mutter, however, walked the bases loaded, and Fred Carney has been called on to finish it out. Fred Carney, a right-hander from Norwalk, Connecticut, pitched his college ball in Colorado at Regis University. Picked in the 33rd round of this year's amateur draft. Alexander Bautista comes up. He is 2 for 4 today. And Kearney comes set. Here's the pitch. Pop up into shallow right field. Josh LeBlanc will gather underneath it. He'll gather it in. And the Angels are victorious. So Kearney does the job. 1 pitch, 1 out. And the Angels pick up the victory 6-4. The Angels line will read 6-8-1. 6 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Idaho Falls 4 runs and 10 hits and 2 errors. So the Angels continue their winning ways here in the second half. They now move to 21-18. Idaho Falls drops to 20-19. They are now a game up. We'll be back with more Angels baseball, the post-game show, as we look at what happened in the rest of the Pioneer League. Again, the Angels win 6-4. We'll be back.